1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
What's happening?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mudblood podcast. We have a special guest today. Say hello,
Good to be here, guys. Thanks for
Mr.
having
Aaron
me.
Butler.
Aaron Butler, everybody. Have we any sponsors that we have?
We do.
Original G Tattoo.
Original G Tattoo, indeed.
They're up beside the zoo. They specialise in grey and black work. Isn't that right?
Yep, they do. Yep, black and grey work. Check
And
out
if you want to give them a shout out on Facebook, Instagram, and send them some of your ideas for their tattoos, they're more than welcome to do it.
Absolutely. And also shout out to, I forgot to bring the clothes to you guys today because I was in work, but
Yes.
Hypnosis Clothing, who sent us all a wee bunch of clothes.
Thank you very much to Hypnosis
Hypnosis and stuff.
Hypnosis. Hip as in hip,
No, HYP, as in hypnosis.
as in proper
Yep,
hypnosis.
like, whoa.
Oh,
You're a chicken.
Oh, it's that good. It hypnotizes you.
Yeah.
Ah, right. Yes,
Shout
shout
out
out,
to
guys.
them.
Thank you very much for that.
Now, Paddy, we're not in our usual location.
We are not. We have not. We've actually won the lottery, and me and William have moved into Stephen Nolan's house.
Yeah.
So this is one of his. It's actually very tiny.
I was already here.
That painting, but
We freed him.
he was already here. He was living with him.
I like it here.
I imagine his house. Do you know why certain houses have wine cellars? Nolan has that, but just for big bags of crisps.
I could see it,
Like he
yeah.
has a cellar of like the vintage Tato
Tudor. Yeah.
Look at this, comes from 1982. It's a fine smoky bacon.
Yeah.
And it has Barry McGuigan on the front. Who was world champion at the time. Don't open them, they're worth a lot of money.
Do you see that? Speaking of McGuigan, do you see that video from
Carl
him?
Frampton.
Yes.
I fucking love that. I love that attitude.
It's like,
from
you're like a
Frampton.
child, and he's like, mate, I'm a water boy from my mate.
I'm real good at it.
Fucking good one
Proper
at that.
Belfast, like, it was he knew it was being recorded, so he just didn't want to turn it up and go, fuck up or I knock your cunt in, you English cunt. Didn't he not? Like, I was just like, he's a child.
It's every time I see Frampton, he just lets that smick out. I'm like, good on you.
It's good too, because
Yeah.
he didn't lose it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? He hasn't lost. I actually appreciate people more, which I've probably spoke about 100 times in this show. I drove down to Shankill last week with the Celtic cap on.
That's right, you did.
Amazing. I don't have to hide it no more. Do you know what I mean? They know exactly who I am. They know who I support. It doesn't shock them. Even the wee guy brushing up was like panicking out a photo, and I was like, this is fucking... He's like, you were the Celtic cap. I'm fucking... It was brilliant. I loved it. I love it. I just love that. I love being able to have that. And that's the way we should be.
Would you have Frampton walk about in the wee Ranger stop?
Certainly.
Good man.
If he
Good man.
didn't, I would be more shocked that he didn't do it.
Do you remember the time he had that press conference? I can't remember who the fighter was, but the guy was like, you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And even the journalists were all like, fuck, he's from Tigers Bay, for fuck's
Well, he
sake.
did turn around and said, mate, have you seen where I was from in Tigers Bay? You know that's not fucking true.
Oh, it was the wee American kid, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Chris Alvarez or something
Alvarez,
like that?
Had the
Yeah.
fucking clue, stupid cunt.
Oh, right.
He's like, oh, fuck, you from Tigers Bay? Sorry, mate, I didn't know that. Or I was thinking you were from Summer Bay, you know, Home and Away and all that. So, yes, no, we're in Banbridge tonight, folks, backstage at my tour. The boys obviously are my support on it, as you know, that mostly do support for me. And we're just backstage, and we're basically just doing the tour because this week we're going to be that busy, and we're going to be on the road, so we just have to do it here. And it's good as any, isn't it?
It's fancy. It's fancy. I like it.
Yeah, why is my house not fancy?
Not as fancy as the Balmoral Hotel, Paddy, no. I don't feel I'm insulting you by saying that.
We're not in the Balmoral Hotel.
Where are we?
We're in the Belmont,
The Belmont
House
house. Balmoral's in
Belmont.
in West Belfast.
It's
They'll
where every
have all-
West Belfast wedding happens.
Connor Burns is here now, be going, talking to the camera and tell them that I'll be landing down.
Everyone look after your mental health.
Many buses.
Now, you have been a busy boy, Patrick, because you had a wee gig this week, didn't you?
No,
I did.
Last week?
Last week.
Do you want to tell the people what
No,
you did?
fuck them. No. I won't
I'll
keep
tell
that.
them if you don't.
Is this the gig you told me about today? You should probably tell them.
So, to be honest with you, it's been mad with weddings. So, there's been a lot of wedding gigs. Basically because it started off because people couldn't have entertainment. So, they got comedians.
Yeah.
I love it when you get that message and they're like, I'm not allowed entertainment, so do you fancy coming and doing 30 minutes? And you're
Yeah.
going, are we not entertainment? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, so we've been doing weddings and it's been really strange. So basically what happened was, I'll not name the hotel.
Galgorm. No,
And,
it wasn't the Galgorm.
Basically I arrived and there was a guy there who was in charge of the wedding. And he was like, oh, are you here to perform? And I was like, yes. And he says, class, if I just give you a mic and then you can just carry on then. And I was like, right, where am I? And he was like, through them 2 doors there. And I was like, sound, I says, nobody announced me on or nothing. He says, sure, that'll spoil the surprise. So sometimes I don't know if it is a surprise for the people there, or if it was even booked by the bride and groom. It's a surprise for them. So I was like, right, okay. So I basically go into the room and start performing. And I noticed very quickly that there was no alcohol on any table. Mm-hmm. It was like tea and water.
Which for a show, for one of your shows, that's a red flag already.
But
And a
for a
wedding.
wedding, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
more
And
like
I
a
was
cult.
like, what's the crack here?
Butler's
And
wedding.
after, like,
Yeah.
I'm just walking about trying to really, with a remote mic and sort of messing around at each table. Nobody was laughing, apart from one guy on one table away at the back. And he's laughing like fuck. And I'm like, right, and I toned it right down, and every bit of material I'd done, nothing, apart from him. So this big room with 150 people in, and just one guy laughing, and there was no bar in it, so it was just demons. And I made my way to the top table, and I kept looking at the bride and groom, and basically were sitting with their mouths open in shock, and I was going, has somebody done this in them? What is it? And then I went, is it a funeral? And I kept looking to make sure that she was in a wedding dress, because I was going, like, this is surreal. 15 minutes in, I then made my way to the top table, and I was like, well, there's one person to join us in the room. Nobody else is here. What is the crack? And the bride says, we don't know who you are. We didn't book you. And then I basically says, who booked me in this room? And nobody put their hand up. And I looked at the one guy that was laughing. And I went, did you book me? And he busted out laughing. I went, no, but I definitely would again. And I was like, what's going on here? And I says, did you book entertainment? And the girl says, well, we booked a guy who would come in and sing opera music incognito. And I went, well, I don't know how the fuck I've ended up in here then. And I left the room, right? My wedding was next door in the other suite.
So you did a gig to people who didn't even want you to do a gig.
Didn't even know he was going to be there.
Like, didn't even pay to have me there.
They're expecting
And
this Dorma, and he's coming in
This
being
guy
like,
comes in
"Damn
the
it."
room and goes, I'm Paddy McFucking-Donnell! So it turned out that they
Maybe
were,
thought that was part of the opera song. They were
They
like,
were-
that's
they
a
were-
real classic.
They just thought that some randomer in the hotel was off his head and drugs and
Which, at one of your gigs.
lifted a microphone and came into their wedding and was destroying it. And they were just in shock. But it turned out that they go to the tabernacle and stuff, like they're free Presbyterians. It was a dry
that a
wedding.
bar?
You couldn't the big tabernacle. Gigged in it before with McConnell when he did.
Is it actually
before
a
they-
bar, yeah?
No, it's an actual fucking hall where they talk about gays being abominations and
Sounds
stuff.
good.
Yeah.
The whole time you were on, they were going, did he say McDonald?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know what that smell was.
Did he say Paddy?
Fiending alert. Fiending
Yeah.
alert. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Like, it was like mental.
Right.
So I was up the high dough, basically get out. And what basically happened was the guy that was doing the singing get sent into my wedding, which was worse for him. Worse for him. And he's actually asked me not to tell the story because of the company that they work for. But he basically, no, I'm not. I promised him I wouldn't do it.
I mean,
But he-
Paddy, there's about one singing company here that does the weddings undercover.
no, this guy's different. I'm not.
That makes it sound even worse.
So he had
this guy's different.
because the wedding I was meant to do was like a wedding from Short Strand, and he turned up dressed up as a certain individual that they don't like, and they basically half the wedding
King
left.
Billy singing.
They left the room because there was a fucking peeler coming, so they freaked out, right, and left, and. He then fucking, and they were all, so the groom basically went up before he even got a chance to sing and were like, you need to get the fuck out of here. You're not welcome at my wedding. And it was just like,
This is the singer.
this is the singer, basically. Yeah, so he basically walked in, like, and they fucking hated him.
Yeah.
And he never got it. And then he walked out of the room and started singing when they were outside, and your man chased him out. And then ones that was in the car park chased him, and he got a punch through at him. So then I had to then go and do a gig after that, and they were waiting on me. So it
Your
was
real
like,
gig, you did your real gig then? The gig you were
Afterwards.
supposed to do after the singer went in and caused a whole kerfuffle.
fuckle, and half the crowd was away. So then your guy was like, I paid for fucking this, and everybody's left because that fucker came in here. And I was like, oh, for fuck, this is a fucking disaster.
At least you got to do 2 gigs in one night. That's good
I'm still
practice
waiting on
for
the
you.
payment from fucking...
From both of them.
I sent the invoice to the tabernacle.
But here's the
30 minutes of showing you what Fenians are really like.
How did the gig go once you'd done the second one?
It was grand.
Yeah.
That's as far as it's
Were you-
going. No.
No.
That's as far as it's going.
But here-
Okay.
For the guy that had done the gig for,
Surely the guy who's the singer dressed up as the peeler, surely that's happened before. Or like in Northern Ireland, that's dress him up as a waiter or dress him up as like the receptionist of the hotel. Don't dress him up as a peeler and send him into a wedding. Does that not make
Singing
sense?
RUC.
The reason they're doing that at the minute is because
I get the premise, but why the
because of
police?
COVID. They're walking in dressed as a cop and saying we're going to
The
have to
waiter's
stop the
allowed to
wedding.
fucking. Oh, right, okay. So the whole thing is the policeman comes in and goes, "We're going to have to stop this wedding."
Yeah.
And then goes, "You're just too good to be true."
Basically, yeah. So when people start going, Jesus, do we have to leave? Then he breaks in the song and everybody goes, it's a joke.
Right, but they
When he
didn't.
walked in
They
from
didn't give him the
Short Strand
chance.
or wherever these things are from.
Yeah.
And he walked
I
in
mean,
and they were like, fuck you.
I mean, the Short Strand or
No,
wherever
but
they are
made
from.
from Short Strand. They made the beat from Short Strand.
They
And
definitely
they
from
just
Short
said that
Strand.
to throw it in to give you an idea of how bad this place is that they're from. They made a beat from the New Lords, but we'll not go there.
You had told me.
I'm doing a gig in the
Sean,
place where
keep
they're
it
from.
in.
I'm doing
Everything
a gig.
stays
No,
in.
they aren't from Short Strand, but I said Short Strand to fucking get it right because I'm doing a gig next week in the place that they're from.
You had told me the story, however, you.
Yes, but we're not going
No,
to do
you
that.
didn't tell me the fact
Oh, but I
that
didn't.
he was dressed as a pig.
Oh, mate, I didn't even want to go into all that because
You
I
didn't
didn't,
even tell
I didn't
me
even
that?
know the full extent. I didn't even know the full extent of that when I told you.
I did.
I
That
have
makes it
found
so much better.
It makes it like 10 times better. So it's like I thought I had a bad experience. All I just had was basically a room of people that just didn't appreciate a Fenian being in there
Yeah.
because they had one token one that they brought who was a friend from work and he had a fucking ball. Like he had the best gig that I'm ever going to do because I was trying so hard to impress and one person had a fucking ball where these people at the wedding were like, that's why we don't mix with these cunts.
I mean,
They're all like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I would be the biggest PR thing for the tabernacle and free Presbyterianism. Like, they should make me the poster boy. It should be like, do you want these people? Join the Free Presbyterian. Unless you want to be one of these people or be mixed with them.
Are you going to replace McConville or not? Or what's his name?
Pastor.
Pastor McConnell.
Pastor McDonald.
Pastor McDonald.
Just walking out doing half an hour your set every week, and then when you leave, they go, see, told you so like that. This is why we must hate queers and Fenians. They turn up at our weddings and destroy the place with their heathen talk.
I did a wedding myself, but was nowhere near as eventful.
Well,
as
yours look good. 'cause
Oh,
yous
mine
were-
was very fun.
Yours were on that go-kart
We were in the Field of Dreams, and
Is it called the Field
It's
of
called
Dreams?
the Field of Dreams.
in Bangor.
Yeah. So we were. It's like
If you build it, we will come.
Yeah. That's a swingers party.
Well, you came in the States last week at a festival.
So they were like, right, we need to get you across this field, but you can't drive your car over it. So this guy came over in like a wee buggy jeep.
Golf
and
cart?
Shane, yeah, not quite a golf cart, like, but
Same
it was,
thing.
it was like a peach buggy.
Yeah, yes.
More so than a golf cart. It looked like a golf cart, but it was the speed of
Yeah.
a peach buggy.
So Shane's on one side and I'm on the other, just flying over this fucking field in a
Velma
buggy.
and
It's
Louise.
fucking outstanding. I just felt like no one stone cold used to like drive in the vehicle and start
With a
spraying
beer truck? Yeah.
You
that's how I
actually
felt.
had your wee face in the video was like, know when you've brought your kid to Thunderland or Port Rosa first time
And the ride collapses?
They're on like a wee ride. And that was your
They probably had to
face.
put a belt on you to keep you on there.
I was
They're like,
surprised.
can you hold on to the
You
side? You're like,
actually-
no.
Do you know what? If the DLA see that video, you are definitely.
I know.
You're losing your car,
Exactly.
mate,
Your
because
hand-
you were
his hand-
holding
his hand
on
looks strong.
and you're fucking videoed while singing Vietnam songs. So at the same time,
I don't get a car because I can't sing.
Oh right.
Yes, but
No,
the
but they're
grip
holding
strength.
on like it was like
The
Strong
singing's
hand.
showing off.
The-
The singing's being like, oh, it's in your face. It's like, oh, I can hold and sing it.
It was
Yeah,
it was
you were
with
hol- you
it
were-
was with my good hand.
What one? Recording or
No, the one that he was holding
Holding
on
on?
with. The one he's holding on with.
One
Was
I was
with your
holding on
good
with.
hand.
Yeah, it was my good
So you
hand.
have a... I didn't know you had a good hand.
Yeah, I have a weak hand and a
the
strong
only
hand.
time I've had a good hand is playing fucking poker, like.
I got a good hand around the back of the ice bowl once. Ian, how are we doing for time? 2 minutes.
Oh, you've got 2 minutes to go on stage, big guy.
With 2 minutes, think of damage you could do in 2 minutes.
Are you
Well,
gonna?
I'll just sit in here for now because there's going to be an interval between me and you.
No, but are you gonna bring me on?
Oh, I am going to bring him on,
But
Paddy.
just bring the mic over here and do it from here. It's even
Can we
fucking
do
fun.
that? Is that even possible? I'll feed back. I'll go over there for 2 minutes. Do this. You sit here.
Right.
Entertain the people,
Entertain the
Paddy.
people.
Yeah. And we will be back. I'll be back momentarily.
20 minutes, guys. You can do this.
This is mental. This is does it say UVF in the back of your jumper?
Yeah. It says UHF.
It fucking does. Williams. So Seán's in for one of the first ever times. For
What's
people
happening?
that don't know, this is Seán, my brother,
Is that
who
good?
is our sound guy, and he is pretty sound, like.
Alright.
But he's my younger brother, and Seán fucked everything up for me, by the way, which I tell people about. Seán came
That's
along
the
when I was
story.
16, and I was the youngest and the only boy in the family. And he came along, and I basically was like introducing a new wee puppy to the house,
The golden boy.
golden balls.
But you're still you are the golden child, like
I am
of the
golden-
family.
Of course
like.
I am. Look at me. Why would I not be? Why would I not be? You're close though.
Aye.
You've done well.
No, I'm in the black sheep side of
No,
of
you're
us,
not.
I think.
No, you're not, Seán. No, you're not. Trust me, you're not the black sheep. You were like the poster boy in our house. You were head boy in school and all, so I didn't come close to that. In all fairness,
Nah, you're the twinkle of their eye.
I'm the twinkle. I was the boy that didn't become a boxer to my dad, so I'm not.
Now was I was the fucking cripple that broke his legs every time he tried to fucking run.
Yeah, well, that's
So that was
basically
even
how-
worse.
Well, Seán, you'll see Seán, and Seán is a sound engineer, but he also plays in 2 bands,
Doing gigs.
and he has a band called,
Search party.
and he also has a band called
Aye.
I.
And you'll hear I on the
podcast at the
on
start
the
of it.
podcast at the start and
But
end.
Search Party was like the first band that I came and seen you with,
Yeah, you came and seen us playing with
Paul Curry.
Paul Curry and his band Rhinos, which is a mad
In
wee
Ra-
combo when you think about that.
In Renshaw's.
Aye, but it was
Out the
called the
back.
Menagerie now.
Yes, the Menagerie, that's right.
I don't even know if that's still going, but
so
what's
how
a
long are
cracker?
you going now, like Search Party?
We're going, believe it or not, coming up on 8 years now,
Fuck me.
which is nuts. And how long are you going with this now?
Well, 10 years. It'll be 11 years in
Because
November.
I remember one of the first gigs you going to see, or one of the gigs you played. First gigs you played was up in the Millennium Forum in Derry.
Fuck, that's right.
Yeah, remember it? And you said to me, because it was like an all ages thing,
Yeah.
and you said to me to bring my mates up. So we rented out a minibus, remember?
Yeah.
And we came up,
That's right.
and me and all my mates from school.
Hard different as my younger brother's friends, where they rented minibus, where my friends used to steal them.
Different generation, you see.
We're going to Derry. That's hard one.
Yeah.
Like legitimately.
It wasn't
what age
that-
were you?
that-
What age were you there?
we were about 13, 14.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You must have thought it was mad, like going to a comedy night.
Yeah, we thought it was fucking class, like, to be honest.
Well, it was class. I
And-
was on.
And but it was.
What was
a-
your favourite bit of the night? Do you remember any of the acts?
I remember it was a girl playing an acoustic guitar before us, which was weird.
Yeah, she wasn't a comedian.
Right.
So that's what was weird about it as
The
well.
mad thing about it is now, unfortunately, the guy that run that event is dead now, Danny McCrossan. And his brother used to do a bit of comedy with the guitar as well. Ray
Yes.
McCrossan.
He's he's alive.
I think Ray is. I haven't spoken to him. Ray went into photography, and then obviously I'm not on Facebook with him or anything anymore, so I don't know what he's doing. But Danny used to run that gig, and do you know what? It was in the studio of the Millennium Forum. Did you ever do it?
Never.
Yeah.
And like the view of Derry out the fucking window is amazing.
Yeah.
It was a lovely room.
Sounds good.
But it was a free gig. But you did get a crowd. It was actually not a bad gig, to be honest.
Yeah. But no, this is the thing. It was in the studio of the Millennium
Yeah.
Forum, right? But this is something I've learned from I was no age, is that Patrick talks a biggest load of cack.
Why?
Because when you said to
you
me
too.
to bring on my mates, he goes, I'm playing a Millennium Forum, and you sent me a photo of the auditorium.
I think
It was
that's
like
probably
your,
the-
it was like your, it was
Marketing
like one of your
wizard right
first
here.
gigs, as I said, and I was showing all my mates. I was
Do you
going,
know,
right,
do you know
bro.
2 weeks after that gig, I actually played that big room?
I know, yeah,
With
you
Dave
did
Bishop?
fair play,
Oh,
to
no
you, yeah.
way.
So you did.
What basically happened there was, so I went up and done it. I had an inkling that I might get the gig with him. And what happened was I wanted to get a feel for the place. I didn't like gigging anywhere I haven't been to.
I'm like that. Like I like to.
Know the people. Like, don't get me wrong, like if you have Banbridge and you have Belfast and Lorgan, I wouldn't have worried too much. Do you know what I mean?
But somewhere you're unfamiliar.
I had got this gig with Glen Wool in the Rushing Do in December in Galway, and I'd never been.
The Rushing Do, is that how you say it?
The Rushing Dove.
It's a rushing too.
It is a Rushing Do.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know how to say Irish words.
A lot of people down south say Rushing Dove.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I had never gigged in Galway, and I was like, I need to go down and gig there. I've never been there. I don't know nothing about the place. And Andrew was like, what are you saying? Like, it's in the middle of December. And I was like, I need to go to Galway. I need to find a gig. And she was like, you serious? You're going to just drive to Galway a week before a gig? And I was like, yeah. So I put all these messages out to Galway, and these 3 fellas were doing an open mic night on a Sunday, and I would have been gigging on the Thursday. And I agreed to go down and close the show for them. And Andrew wouldn't give me the car, and I only had the black taxi. And I filled the black taxi with heating oil because I didn't have the money to fill it with diesel.
Jesus Christ.
And brought Woodsy and Gary Croft with me.
To Galway in a black taxi?
In a black taxi in December. And we went in and done the gig, and I think I spoke about it last week.
Yeah.
The guard
Talked about
lifted
this
the
couple
car,
times.
the taxi from outside the thing. So we spoke about it last week on things, so people will know about it. So the taxi got lifted, and then we had to go to the Garda station to get the taxi back, and we weren't getting home to Belfast till like 6 in the morning. I took sick because of the lack of sleep, and there was no heating in the taxi, and I couldn't do the gig on Thursday with Glenwood.
Jesus, Paddy. I mean, that is a story. That is the plot to the Hangover movie if it was in Northern Ireland. Just you, Woodsy and Gary Croft going into a black taxi down to Galway with no heating on.
Yeah, in December.
I mean, obviously you reflect back on that now and know that was an awful idea. But at the time, you were
At the time, I was like, I need to know what Galway's like.
See, when it comes to a gig and somebody offers you a gig, like you don't think rationally.
No,
ever.
at the start, I think when I was at the start, I was like, just seen a gig, I was sending a message to everybody, and people were sending me messages going, yeah, can you make your way to Killarney like tonight at 7 o'clock? And I was like, what time is it now? 2 o'clock? Yeah.
Yeah, you get some of that. I mean, when you're younger, it's different because you don't have the same priorities and responsibilities as you get older, I feel like. You know what I mean? Well, you had about 800 kids at the time. Probably you're up
a
to
mortgage
about 8,000
and everything.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand was, and I think I tell people now, I was using it as therapy. I had went through a real trauma thing, and I wasn't thinking right at that time.
Yeah.
So like when I done comedy, it was like a big drug to me.
It was a release.
It was, mate. And when I went on stage, it was like euphoric when you done well. So I just wanted to do the next, and I got hooked on it.
Yeah.
And I have that addictive personality,
Me
whereas
too.
I need to. So, and if I do it, I have to do it well, but I also have to. So it was like, so it was like all or nothing.
That's why I don't drink.
Yeah.
Because if I drink,
you're going to do it.
my life will be over. You know what I mean?
I totally get that. I get that. And I mean, it's just took over. It took over, and I was doing gigs everywhere and anywhere for anybody for nothing.
But I suppose for you, it's good that you got an addiction that fitted, that was a healthy addiction. Like, I know, like, addictions aren't healthy or whatever, but, like, something like the stand-up or whatever was good for you.
It's not going to basically kill me, yeah.
It's not going to kill you. It's sort of... And here's why it's good for you. It's good for you because it's a good fit for yourself, because you're a storyteller. You're a good, funny person. You know, you're naturally jokey.
Yeah.
So it's like... It's different if you were, like... Let's say you fucking got addicted to acoustic guitar, but you couldn't play acoustic guitar. Yeah. You were going to, you know, it would be, but it was good for you because you're developing material, building your stage character, you're doing all that stuff. And it's now, look, you're doing working these touring shows, you're going to the Ulster Hall, going to do whatever.
It's great that it's got to that.
So it's an addiction that was
I think it's
a
great
good thing.
that I can give her something back from it too, like the kids and the family. Do you know what I mean?
It's good that you can look back and go, look, all those nights I was away out of the house, you know, all the shit going up and down the road and travelling and fucking doing these shed gigs to 4 people. You know, it's starting to push into something. Yeah. That's the way it is. Like.
Well, look, I have you on, and we're talking about me here just because our Seán and me were talking. But for people that don't know it, I think you went the same school as me.
CBS, we went to the exact same secondary school, but in different years.
And also, did you go to St. Kevin's?
Yeah.
which is mad because it was the same primary school.
So we went to the same primary school in the same, but in different years.
Yes. So like you were only coming into them when I was leaving.
Probably it was around that eye. So I would have been first year and you would have been leaving.
When I was leaving St. Kevin's, it was in 91.
So I had started St. Kevin's in 90, wouldn't have been 91, probably 93.
So I had left by 2 years.
Yeah.
And then obviously the progression was the exact same.
That's so funny.
It's so funny. We went to the same school.
And you from West End, Aaron?
Yeah.
Fuck. I never even
a lot of people.
Is that why
wouldn't-
Sean hated me? When he's all warm and friendly.
I'm whole demeanour's like relaxed.
The first
all
when
good.
I met you, Aaron, I don't know if you were individually doing comedy or if you were part of FNT when I first met you.
I think I was just leaving the individual sort of stand-up and doing, like, I was probably still dabbling in stand-up. Because I remember used to hang around with that guy Cookie and stuff. Flipping, like, I was still doing it around his, because I remember doing one of his gigs and stuff. So, like, down in Cookstown, some fucking
Yes,
mad
so
bar.
I did meet you
And
then.
Matthews, I think, had just started around then
and you
too.
were near it. I think I gigged with you in Newry.
But I'd probably gigged maybe a year before you, maybe a year or two before you,
See, what people don't know, there was a show called Find Me the Funny.
which is like ancient now because it was like 11, 12 years ago. But that
It
show,
was slightly before I even started doing it, and I hadn't seen the show. So when I came into comedy, there was you, Mickey Bartlett, so Aaron Butler, Mickey Bartlett, Sean Haggerty, Seán
was on because he
but
had
didn't get
auditioned.
through.
He didn't get through, but he
Yes,
auditioned for the show.
He had auditioned.
Tracking
He didn't get
12.
through. Like Marcus Keeley and stuff like that
There-
had auditioned.
Anyone
and
who
didn't
was
get in.
doing comedy
But
was on the show.
Stilo Morrison,
Who was he?
he was on the show, and I knew him because his mummy worked in a kebab place that we delivered for.
Right.
And he, Kieran, I think his name was.
Right, I can't remember him.
So he was on the show, and he got through. Terry
Keys
as well.
was on the show. Yeah.
So all you guys had been on that show like a year or two previous to me actually coming into comedy. So
Yeah.
you were doing that. You were involved in the comedy scene. I remember playing football with you and actually give you a dodgy tackle, and you didn't like it. Over
Really?
in Queens, and I always meant to
I can't
apologise
remember.
to you. It's only because I had got slow and fat. And I genuinely,
Got.
that is why I basically was too. If you were
You couldn't
quick-
catch me,
If you were
so
quick,
you were just like,
no, I didn't do it on purpose. I
aye,
genuinely
but you couldn't time
tackles,
your reflexes.
Yes, so I had been out of football that long.
Right,
It was
right.
just my reflexes weren't, and I had fucking really put loads of weight on. So when I was throwing tackles in, I was throwing a proper tackle in that I would have done when I was playing football.
Aye.
But I wasn't timed.
but it was so mistimed.
I
yeah.
was so slow, and you gave me a big dirty look, and I went, "Fuck, Aaron actually hates me." Do you know what I mean? I always meant to say to you about it. So
could
you
never
done that,
remember that.
right? And
Yeah.
then you done FNT, and FNT was a troupe that
like
had
a sketch comedy group
yes.
in
So
Belfast.
the people
yeah.
that would know people in it was Dave Elliott
Dave
was in
Elliott.
it. Diona Doherty,
Yes.
who's Diona Haggerty, obviously, and she's still Doherty.
Yeah. Ruth Curran.
Ruth Curran, who
Lo-
was
loads of different
Ruth
people.
was in all the tight shorts with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
were
yeah.
massive.
Believe it or not, I done a course there, and Ruth was in it recently. Aye.
So Ruth, like,
It's so
when I
funny.
think of who was in FNT,
Yeah.
yous were, and I actually, the first time I seen yous, I had not seen yous. So yous were all in it.
Yeah.
Jordan
Dunbar
Dunbar
was
and
in there. Guy called Tom Flight.
Tom Flight,
Mark
the English
McElroy,
guy.
who works at BBC NI Comedy
Mark
now.
McElroy, fucking, you know, there's so many is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Tom's living in America now.
Yeah, he has
And
a wife
Tom's
and kids
one
and
of
stuff.
them English guys that I actually like. He was sound.
That's
He
a
was
big
sound.
stretch.
He was a Middlesbrough supporter, I remember.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
Tom.
yeah.
But I hadn't seen yous.
Right.
And I got asked to do the BBC Children in Need night in what would be the Palm House now, which was the Stiff Kitten.
Right, yes.
And yous were on.
Right.
But I really wanted to see yous. Yous were on in the black box, the big room.
Yes.
So I had bought a ticket because I hadn't got a chance to see yous, but I had to run around and do that. So I run around, done that gig for the BBC, and then bowled around yous and fucking loved it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, from my memory, we had those black box shows, like we sold out, and
Yeah.
maybe about
It
4
was
or
the
5
big
of them.
room.
But like we would like spend so much time putting the show together, and it would all come. It was class. Like it was such a different type of way of doing comedy, live sketches. You know, but it took so much effort, and that's why it was sort of like one of those things you couldn't do it long term.
I
It was
thought,
like,
unless yous had success very quickly,
yeah.
I knew I couldn't have stayed together.
Too many, and yeah,
yes,
it was
but
tough.
just we're all at that age too that things were going to move on, and people was going to move on, people was going to get.
Yeah.
but just were very good. The only sketch group other than yous that I liked was Foil
Arms and
Hog.
Yeah, and I mean, there's
And
three
I
of
had
them.
gigged
So it's,
with Emmons and Navan.
Aye.
And then I seen yous.
Aye.
And genuinely, yous were on a par. If you don't mind me saying
I
that,
appreciate that. Yeah.
yous were that good.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. Now, some people don't enjoy that stuff.
No, which
some
is
people
fine.
want to go to see comedy. But I thought yous were a good mix for a comedy night.
And what's you know the different dynamic there between doing like a sketch show and doing
so much like with sketch shows, it's like there's so much more rehearsal. Like stand up is such an individual thing where like you might go through it in your head earlier in the day. Some people actually like practice their stand up during the day in front of a mirror, or they'll do some sort of technique, whatever. Some people don't. Some people just like to get on stage and just let it flow. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Everyone's there, but you got comedians like fucking Jerry Seinfeld and stuff who are like so meticulous and like and there's comedians here like
Fraser, like in front of the mirror, does it like, you know.
Robbie McShane is very meticulous. Like he's very like.
I'm only telling you people who know.
Yeah.
Fuck me, that's what they have to do. And
yeah. It's
it
just.
must be so. And see, can I just say, like, see, doing plays. I was talking to Tommy McCarthy. Big shout out to Tommy. Had a fight last week.
Shame.
Fucking
watched that, so it is.
Mate, I thought he
Got
won
it for him.
And I am biased, but at the same sense, I also watched boxing. It was a good fight.
I thought it was a draw. I called it a draw because they both got their lumps in and it went the distance. And it's so hard to when it get like the rounds are so close that it's like how do you even like Tommy's hitting with bigger shots, but the other guy's landing more, and it's like it's so hard to judge. Like, but
well, look, shout out. And where I was going.
Hope
with
he gets a
here,
rematch.
Yeah, he will. And Tommy will be back. He's a fucking legend from West Belfast.
Tommy's dad was in our bar watching it with us, so he was at the time. Tommy's dad is like best mates of my dad.
Well, his dad worked with him in the taxis and on the door.
He's a character, isn't he?
Fucking
Big Tom. Big Tom.
Tom
legend.
done security for Frankie Boyle when he came over to
the
Falls Park.
Yeah.
And all the photos I have in the house is Big Tom with him.
Tom's a header.
Tom actually trained me for charity fight that I was doing.
Yeah.
And got Tommy in the sparring.
Oh, no way. Fuck. Oh, William must be coming off there. William sounds like he's coming
William's
off.
on stage.
But to be fair, to answer like the question about the dynamic, it's actually similar to doing a play, like doing like live
that's, that's where I was
very
going with
similar.
This. I was talking to Tommy McCarthy, and Tommy actually done a wee bit of acting too. And when he finishes boxing, Tommy would like.
Here comes
to go
William,
in.
by the way.
William, don't interrupt. All right, we'll talk to you in a second. He's doing an Irish dig. So basically, what happened was I was talking to him and saying, tell him. Acting and stand-up comedy for me is like I've done plays. You have to fucking rehearse the bollocks out of that.
Yeah,
it's so much. I like doing it.
Yes,
but I like comedy so much more because
absolutely.
I was hanging doors today.
Yeah,
right up until 4:30, cleaned up, went home, fucking had a shower, and then came here. Still haven't looked at notes, and I'm going to go out and perform it for an hour. Whereas a play is not like that.
Yeah.
And news would have been like that with FNT.
Yeah, well, you had to be. You have to write a script first. And then when you write a script, you start to practice it and rehearse it. And then you start to make changes with it and go, it's funnier if I come in from this way. Or it's funnier. So then you start to like learn. It's almost like a workshop.
Is that sort of where you were coming at that? Were you thinking like coming into the sketch comedy stuff? Was it more, were you thinking like you wanted to do acting and then it was like, you got into acting through the sketch comedy and then went here the comedy side of this is good, or was it?
I got into stand up first. Like I started with stand up and then from stand up started doing musicals. Funny enough, like
which is mental because I was in the opera house performing. And so were you in the same night.
Was that?
And you were doing Grease.
I was doing Grease. Yeah. So were you supporting? Who were you supporting? Or were you doing?
I was doing the Irish.
Were you doing
show.
the Baby Grand?
I was doing the Irish show in the Baby Grand.
Right. So yeah. So
you were in doing Grease.
Yeah. So I was in doing Grease, and we were in the opposite at the same time.
So I was in doing Grease. I was in doing the Baby Grand.
I'd love it if you did Grease.
He was in.
I was in Grease.
He was in doing Grease with all these
beautiful women.
All these girls, and I'm going,
shout out girls.
What are you doing? And he was like, I'm in Grease.
Just...
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, me, you bastard.
Yeah, it was good fun. I mean, I was the only straight guy in the cast. I was Kinnicky.
Mate, what a character.
So much fun. I got to jump in a car, flipping, rip my shirt off. Like, it was like the best fun. Like, musicals are so much fun. And this is like the dynamic between stand-up.
You didn't get so many... I was about to say, you didn't get somebody pregnant, but then I forget I've had
a vasectomy. Now, I didn't have one at the time, but...
Did you not know?
No, just a pull-out guy. The who knows, might have some out there.
Could you imagine that in Greece? I'm just a pull-out guy. What a song.
Yeah.
The Belfast version of Grease. Aaron, just a pull-out guy.
But what the great thing is about like comedy sketches and musicals and plays and stuff like that is you have people there to support you. So say for example a night doesn't go well, or maybe you fluff a line, or someone's there to like step in or help you or whatever. But with stand up it's like, see if you go out there and fucking die in your hole, it's the most lonely place in the world to be. You know what I mean?
Well, look,
so,
just to hit on that, I have to say, you were away basically from stand up.
8 years I took out of stand up.
8 years, right?
Yeah.
And then I heard you were back. And I can't remember. Yeah, I'll be back with a
Can't
big
kill
red
me,
eye.
yeah, like Jesus.
But I can't remember where I seen you, right? But you came back, and I was like, fuck me. Like, you were very strong when you came back.
Yeah, I think I was more, I had like so much pent up, like just wanting to be on stage again, you know what I mean? Like wanting to do stand up again. It was like, I was just like, fuck, I just need to do this. Like, so I think that's probably part of it, was like, I'd almost look back, because I had like loads of inner confidence issues, anxiety, all that stuff. That's kind of why I stayed away from it, because I was like, did find me the funny so young. I was only 19 when I did that, and got through as the youngest person. I was like, after that, there was almost like an expectation of me to be like, oh, he has to be great, he has to be the next. I was in my head, not people actually saying it, but it was like, every time I went on stage, I felt like, oh, fuck, I should be better. And like, I would really put myself down. Like, I still do a wee bit more, like, but not as much.
That's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
As long as you don't push it till the limit.
Exactly, that's it's trying to not push the limit for me. Like, even today, I struggle with it, but I got to the point where I was like, right, I don't want to be 50 years old and look back in my life and go, I should have been doing stand-up all this time. So then I just ended up, Seán and Dave were the main fucking people who were like, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again.
That's what I love about this. There's a certain, I don't know, people call it the squad or whatever, right? But there's a certain nucleus of us, right? And there will be a thing of support, like.
Yeah, there's a good support network at the end.
Whereas when I started, it wasn't just as good as that.
Well, that's thing. That's why,
there was
I
a lot
left.
of negativity from people.
That's why I left
who
as well.
were
It's too
maybe doing
competitive.
it slightly longer, and they were giving you shit, even if you were good.
Yeah.
And I promised myself that if I thought somebody was good, I will tell them.
Yeah.
And I will give them a gig.
Yeah.
And I will do it in merit. And I basically seen Aaron, and I was like, mate, that was fucking brilliant. And I was so glad there was another West Belfast comedian as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing as well. Do you think that? Now, I don't know whether I'm just ignorant, but see, for me, like this seems like it's like the most successful like Northern Irish comedy has been like I know you've got your hole in the wall gangs and everything else, but I just feel like there's such good
we don't
scene.
have right set comedy clubs or like a comedy circuit, right? So that show happened. There was them nucleus of boys coming through. Then like I came through with Woodsy and different people and Darren Matthews and all these different people sort of came in, right?
But it's a different era.
But we were doing gigs that we were putting on ourselves all over the place.
Because you had to.
So on top of that, we were all gigging together. So we all tried to get more. I went to London, and there was people in London who'd been doing it 7 years that only had 7 minutes of comedy. That was it. They didn't change it, and it was because London was so big and there were so many small gigs, so they weren't progressing. Whereas within 9 months, I'd done the Fela with fucking Des Bishop, you know. Whereas Aaron came back and within a few weeks was doing gigs with me and Seán and whatever, because he was good at it. And there's like a wee nucleus of us, and we all sort of push each other on.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think that's why it's so successful?
Yeah, and we had, you sort of had that. You were gigging in Newry like 2 months again, so you sort of got new material. So we were all like, I had an hour show within a year. Whereas anywhere else you don't get that.
But I think what Seán's saying too is very, he makes a good point where it's like eras come in waves. So you have like the Keatley era and the Hole in the Wall gang era, and then the internet sort of came and exploded, and now you've got people, for example, look at Paddy's podcast clip that goes absolutely viral. He's able to sell tickets on it, you know, stuff like that happens now that never used to happen. Mark McCartney does a series of videos, shit. All these things happen, and now it's like
Colin Gaddis was basically the internet sensation.
That's one. Yeah, Seán as well, and all the other boys.
And from it, you know, a lot of people went, oh, it's bad. And Colin I used to see him and I used to be like, why do you not like Boy the Blender? But again, he wanted it to be Colin Gaddis. Yeah. As a stand-up. And people know.
But he's done a great job of rebranding that.
100%. Like, Colin Gaddis.
Because I think
people know who he is now.
Years ago, if I had been talking about you, the Friends, and saying about like the comedy scene, and because obviously I had a vested interest in it then, and if I had mentioned Colin's name, I would have been like, you know, Barry the Blender. No, like
You had to
but,
say boy.
but now you say
Now
Colin
yes,
Gillis.
yes, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
And I totally get now why Colin done it.
That's
Do you know what I mean? But I think what you're saying, you're right. There is that wee thing of pushing each other on, and
But I'm excited to see like the next wave. Like who's going to be the next? I want to see that now. You know?
Yeah, who's
like,
coming in?
Who's like a
back in?
19, 20-year-old that has a
I
fresh?
I joke like William. What age are you?
24.
Why don't you get a chair and just come around and sit?
Well, I'm going to be swapping out anyway. I'm gonna swap out anyway.
I'm not shouting at you,
gonna
but
be.
what age are you?
24.
So he's 24. I don't even see him as the new wave.
Nearly I because he's with us like in our.
But do you know he's been around for 6 years now?
Yeah.
So I don't even see him like. And then
He started
Am I
with-
wrong to even say Mark McCurney's the new age of Mark McCurney? You know he's
30.
yeah, but
But it's
for
nothing
me,
to do
I
with
started
age.
when I was
It's nothing to
30.
do with age.
It's nothing to do with age.
It's to
starting
do with, like-
when you came in.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Who's going to be like the next group of lads? Is what I'm thinking. Who's going to take the bull by the horns and go
Is there going to be somebody coming in at 18 that's going to fucking do something that's going to blow us away?
that we
Like
will never
TikTok-
see coming?
Like TikTok has that element of it,
Okay,
but at
yeah,
the same sense, are they going to branch into stand up? I know
Exactly.
there's a girl in Derry and they're trying to prep her, which is the wrong thing I think to do.
Oh, are you about to go?
I'm going to go pee and then come back for the gig.
Okay, do you want me to bring you on stage?
Yes, Ian. Have I got time to pee?
So
Where we set up here? Because we're going between.
Oh, it's
the-
mental.
I know this is mental, folks, but I mean we're doing it on the road. And we're
It
still
is what
getting
it
to
is.
the-
Natural.
It is
It's
what it
natural.
is. How did it go for you, by the way?
It was good. It was good. It was there's people up for it. There was one cunt just kept tackling, but
Oh, right.
but nonsense.
Right.
I was like,
See
I did a
every
bit.
hour,
man.
fuck.
I started off by going, I have cerebral palsy, and he just went, the Paralympics.
Mate,
The fuck am I meant to do with that? Like what?
William, it's this podcast is a lot of audience out there, so
I know.
it's because I say that shit to you.
No, I know it's not that I don't get it or I can't
just
take a disabled
annoying.
tackle. It's more. It's like you going, I'm a mechanic, and I just go Ford Focus. The fuck you gonna do that? Do you know what I mean? You're just shouting the Paralympics at me.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't the only time he kept going.
Okay. Do you want me to get him shot?
No, he's shot already.
Okay.
But no, it's good. It's good. There's no I'll tell you after.
We're sold out tonight, aren't
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
sold out tonight, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is good. Second night on tour, and we're sold out both nights.
we're fucking flying. Where are we tomorrow?
And listen, Civil War, like, to get that out there again, it's going to be a Mudblood podcast.
Yeah, live.
And
yeah.
we've already explained it, but we'll explain it again. We have
Every
that
time.
coming up in November, and it's basically going to be a mixture of us doing stand up, a few guests, and we're going to do a live. Well, we're going to do a podcast live to the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
So it's your chance to get involved.
Yeah. It's your chance
And
to
we
shout
will-
Paralympics at me.
Shout Paralympics up William live in the limelight.
I got no way. Burnsy charges people a tenner for photos. I'm
Every
not
time
doing
you
it to shout Paralympics at me.
Every time you shout Paralympics is to put a tenner in William's pocket.
You have to put a pound in my Paralympic
That'd
jar.
be alright, wouldn't it?
Fuck, I'd take it.
You'd just go out there and let him shout that all night, wouldn't you?
Be walking home fucking loaded.
You'd be taking all his DLA money off him.
Oh no, I get that.
Is he in your team, or what was the crack with him, the guy that's out there shouting at?
No, I've no idea who he is.
Right, okay.
No idea. It's not, by the way, but before people think I take getting heckled bad, I don't. I really enjoy it. It was just very confusing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what? It wasn't relevant to anything that was happening.
Is this been a very like talking about background stuff in this podcast? Is there
Oh, it's not
anything-
so much. No, apart from that story.
any
about the thing.
current.
By the way, I was about to
things
fart
going
there
on?
and I didn't do it because I've had a dodgy belly for about 3 days. And the
Normally
other
we
night-
just fart away in this
No,
podcast.
I know, mate, and I can't.
'Cause I-
because-
I'll do it away from you,
No,
like,
but I
but-
can't because I'll be going on stage with shite on my. Like, it's literally. It's literally like I'm peeing out of my arse this past 3 days.
When's the last time you shit yourself?
When probably today,
Today.
slightly, because I was in
It
somebody's
depends
house
what
putting
you
doors.
define as shitting yourself. How much shit?
There wasn't shit. It was just water, but it was poo. It was Shawshank Redemption
African
water.
bathwater, like.
Oh, I mean, it did because all the lumpy bits are sort of gone now.
Oh, hope
So
no-
it's-
people watch their dinner, eat their dinner while
No,
watching.
they
it.
don't.
Watch their
No, they
dinner.
don't.
Hope no one's
They
having
watch their
stew.
dinner,
Goodness.
just watching their dinner, having the mug.
You see the message I got today? Someone was out painting their fence, stuck our podcast on, just on the speaker. And they're out
The
painting their
many,
fence.
the many people that what did they do?
The neighbour came out and was like, you can't be, there's kids around here and you're playing that filth.
We are like the rap music of
Yeah.
Northern Ireland now.
Yeah,
isn't it?
we're the hard stern of the
like that
podcast. man.
fat bastard McDonald's on that radio. Could you imagine if it did get Nolan's slot like on the BBC, and then it got to that stage and like people don't put BBC Radio Ulster on because the filth that comes out of us at 10 o'clock in the morning.
About 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yes. No interval, mate. No. We were trying to think what was happening this week, but I've literally been that busy that I haven't even got seeing the news or. There's nothing really major has happened.
The only thing that I saw happening, we were talking about a few weeks ago, we were like, the sun is out and no one's done anything mental. And it was concerning me because when the sun's out in Northern Ireland,
Is this to
someone
do
goes
with
mental.
your picture? Was up?
Yeah, have you not seen this
I
video?
have not seen it. I commented below it and you never get back to me.
Do you know why? Because I went to go look for the video and then just got caught in the
Now,
whirlwind.
I
and
haven't
forgot it.
genuinely seen this. Can
You
you,
haven't seen
show
it?
me it?
I can show you, yeah, if I can find it.
What is it?
He's bringing me on 10-15 minutes. Do you think I could nip the Laloo?
Yeah, you have time to go to the toilet. Just
Are you
out
sorry?
there, round.
Jake, if I just pissed behind you, did anybody would
Drop pissing live. No one does piss podcasts, so
a live piss?
a live piss podcast. Is that what you people
Piss
want?
cast?
The R. Kelly cast.
I would be more.
I'll show you the when you come back. I'll see if I can find the video. I won't play it for you on here. Have you seen this video?
What is it?
So it's, do you know the bandstand, Victoria Square?
Yes, no, what?
You must have seen this.
I haven't seen it, no, but I've just saw the photos of your man
So-
and everybody sending about.
I'll do a wee breakdown of it for you. Basically, you can overlap this if you find it, right? This guy just comes up, just does like a fucking backflip for some reason. And then and this is the beauty of Belfast, just a shirtless smick is amazed by this. And he just goes, "Oh my God, that's fucking class, bro! Keep dancing! And then he stands up and he goes, "Dance like nobody's watching." And he goes, "Look at the fucking size of you." And then there's a preacher over in the corner, like, you know, spouting the usual shit. And he just points over to him and he's like, "Here, can you do it?" "Nah." "And fuck off."
Fucking hell. Just like, if anybody needs something to put in a time capsule to know what Belfast was like.
It's one of those videos, do you know, that come out every once in a while where every line's a banger.
Yeah, and every line's quotable.
Every single one. It's like that Your Gutties or Scrappers video.
Yeah.
Every single part of that.
Like,
is-
not get someone in there bubble in it.
Yeah, oh, fuck. My ma's dead and she bought
So
me
I
these.
bet you to fuck up.
He just smacks him. Do you go to the toilet?
Why
Classy.
Why is that bandstand such a fucking epicenter for mad shit going on?
Madness.
I don't know, because it used to be...
Do you remember the old
old
bandstand scene of like fucking
Shufflers?
And
Shufflers? So that would have been us. I wouldn't have been you.
No,
You're
it wouldn't
too
have been for
young.
you.
Shufflers?
Shufflers?
The golfs used to sit there and people with skateboards and
Yeah.
You mean me? No.
no,
That's
I mean, like skateboarding in my day was like totally like it didn't happen. There
Yeah.
was we didn't see it.
Yeah.
There was
But-
nobody going through Divis or White Drop on a fucking.
You're
skate-
describing it
Apart
like it's
from
a murder.
No, Andre's cousin came from America and they lived in Lanadoon, and he had a longboard, right? And he looked like the lead singer from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Kiedis?
And he basically
kidding.
asked somebody what direction's the city centre, and somebody pointed, and he longboard down the road, and there was like a queue of traffic behind him. And he had this long hair with a big longboard and Converse, and just fucking go down like from Lanadoon the whole way down Andytown and then down the Falls Road on the road.
So he's dead now.
No, it's not. It was just like it was the talk. of the
What are you
place.
at, you
It was like,
fucking hippie cunt?
Anybody see that? Yeah, fucking. But when we were in school, there was a song, and it was like, "Hey, you hippies over there, what's it like to have long hair, skin tight jeans and DM boots? All you hippies are a pack of fruits." The people singing that sound like fruits.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
No, but when we grew up, now that bandstand used to be for shufflers and people who would play hard style. Now I'm talking hard style. Like Blade has just entered the nightclub about to kill some fucking vampires.
Getting busy with
hard
them glocks.
Were you a shuffler?
Fuck no.
No, and I was just like, what you would call now a fuckboy, you know, like.
Yeah, I don't
Was that
have.
decent, stupid? Like,
Yeah, no, we're all.
and the-
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have the dexterity in my hips to do that.
Right.
But there was always a fight, like scheduled, like every weekend. It was like fucking Saturday night fight club. It was fucking nuts. But do you remember, like, there was big names? There was like, there was like cards.
Tyson. There was undercards fights. There'd be like his wee
the
brother
bandstand.
scrapping someone beforehand.
But do you remember there was, what'd you call your mum, Robbie something, and then there was Max Henderson.
Yes.
Yes. He was the big name of
I
those
remember that.
shufflers.
Oh fuck, I remember. What was the name of that crew? Ace. There's this group of people used to call themselves the Ace gang, and they went about with wee hoodies, and they used to always just like take topless photos and all. Oh,
But there were
you'd have lost your fucking mind. You'd have shot someone.
Cringiest cunts ever.
Say goodbye to Paddy, everyone.
enjoy the
How long
rest
are
of
we
the
on
podcast.
here? Do I
don't
wrap
know.
this up?
I'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Or we can bring Butler back on. Do you want me to go check the time here?
Aye.
What
You-
about questions?
I'll
we don't
go
have
to-
questions this week.
I-
Just leave them out.
Yeah, we'll just not do them. We don't have time.
We don't have time.
What are we on? 52.
There's a plug sitting there. Is that bad?
No, it's sweet. It's sweet.
You have some editing job ahead of you today.
I know.
Best of luck, mate. I miss those days of Facebook. There would be like organised chaos.
Yeah. The other
And
fucking
like people
hotspot
just
for
be
that.
jumping in.
The other hotspot for that was the Balls in the Falls. There's always a fight
I was
scheduled there.
never allowed up the falls.
No, you see.
Full opinion.
No, I was strictly for St James's versus the Village.
Aye.
Fights like they were blockbusters as well.
I just proper everyone kicking the fuck out of people. I used to love when someone would be getting their fuck knocked in and then their brother would rock up, who's about 3 times the size of everybody else, and just clean house.
Aye.
I used to love when that happened. Is Butler coming back out? I don't know if we should wrap it up. What's this episode been like? Because I was away for like half of it.
Strange. It was actually quite good. Like, getting to know more about Aaron's.
Alright. They tell you he doesn't drink.
background. No.
Fucking weirdo, doesn't drink.
So he doesn't drink,
Don't drink.
and he's got his balls clipped too.
Guys, but yep. I don't trust him. He's
Mad.
up to something.
Aye.
He's like a super villain.
Humanoid.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like Mark Zuckerberg. He's a wee alien person. And he's always dancing. Don't trust a man who dances.
What else has been going on?
Fuck, what has happened this week? I have been, I'm not even joking, so busy that I have not paid attention to the news. Did Jeff Bezos fuck off to space? briefly?
Him and Richard Branson and Elon Musk just went sayonara.
Yo, is Richard Branson gonna fuck himself? Like, I hate him. I
reckon he would
Branson.
fuck himself if he could.
Absolutely. Like,
If he hasn't already.
do you remember at the
invented
start of the
something.
pandemic? People forgot about this already. He sued the NHS and he also claimed furlough for his company. Now, Richard, you have a private island. Sell it. Oh, how am I going to pay my staff? Sell your private island, you granny looking cunt.
Put it this way, like me and you spout all the fucking communist and socialist shit.
No,
ever,
no,
but,
I don't.
But like,
I'm not either of those things.
but like, but fairly left wing stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm
but
left
I mean,
wing.
like, if you had that fucking sort of dosh going about, would you do the same thing? If somebody was like, "Here, no,
Because
you
I've,
could fly up to
I've-
space."
no, I'm not saying the space thing. What bothers me about him is he was claiming money off.
I love that. Like that's just
Does my
proper-
fucking tits in?
Nah,
How much more? How much do you need? Why do you need it all? What are you doing?
to go to space?
At least Bill Gates, even if he is a pedo like everyone says, at least he's giving some of it to charity. At least he's a charitable pedo. No, I just hate Bronson because he's just he's like Mike Ashley and the owner of Witherspoons. See, just those like, I have a couple of billion, but I don't want to pay my workers a fair wage.
Them, it's just going to turn into a fucking communist manifesto here.
It won't.
Like, but
It won't.
but some of those
China.
some of those fucking big corporations, it's nuts how like strict they are with like staff and everything else. I remember Nicole, my partner, like working somewhere, and somebody she worked with in the shop, she says, "Do you want a bag?" And the girl she was serving was like, no, I don't need one. And she was like, and she put the thing through, she paid, and she went, "No, what? Actually, I do need a bag." And the girl went, "Oh, do you need a 5p or do you?" And she says, "Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I've already put it through."
Uh-huh.
And our manager called her and was like, "I'm gonna talk to you for a minute." She got disciplinary, and she got like suspended for work for like a week for
Right.
like.
Just tell them, no, you're going to lick my bag
Like,
and
imagine
leave that job.
Imagine that.
Fuck off. Like, that does my fucking tits in, shit like that. West Belfast is everyone I speak to. Like, I've actually got people giving me shit. It's like, you don't really push socialist views on your podcast. I'm like, I don't fucking have to.
Why?
I don't know why people think this is like a fucking red party podcast. Like,
That's a thing. Like, why is all the comments you get, and because I sort of keep on top of all that as well, as like looking to see if anybody's slobbering about the sound. I've been keeping note of everybody who has said the sound shit. Everybody's slobbering about the song. I've got a list. No, I'm not.
are you gonna kill them? Or are you going Chris Jericho with this?
Oh,
My thing is, if a lot of people are saying it, I'll take heed of it. The odd comment, I had so many comments being like, "You're laughing too much. You're laughing too much." I had 1 week where I was
knocking in the head with all the fake laughing.
Yeah. Which, if you've ever met me, that is how I laugh. It's very annoying to people, which is probably why I do it. It's probably why I laugh.
Loads of people comment and they're like, I'd snap the fucking comment you got during the week there.
What was it?
Like about the joke you put up.
Fuck guy. So I put up a joke and used the word spastic, and I got accused of being ableist. Ableist? I'm fucking disabled. A slur is a slur. A slur is a fucking slur. I am fucking disabled. Do you know who gets offended by that? Not disabled people.
Yeah.
Do you know what disabled people are doing? Too busy being fucking disabled. We're not offended, and I'm speaking for everyone. But most of us aren't offended by anything you say. Why? Because our fucking knees hurt with shit to be preoccupied with.
That sort of thing.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Great
We're-
stuff. The world's longest podcast.
We're at 55 minutes in.
Oh, is that it?
That's
it
it.
feels longer for some reason.
Glad to know you've enjoyed it.
No, I mean like because you've went out, I've went out, come back in, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I was gone for about 20 minutes of it, to be fair.
Yeah.
There's about half the podcast I'm not in. But I know what you mean. People, like, no, but, like, it's this. Fair enough if you have something you want to talk about, it means something to you, talk about it. I don't feel, people are like, you have a platform, you have a responsibility to talk about things. I don't agree. I'm actually tired of, like, footballers telling me how to think, or, like, actors being like, here's how you should feel about it. Fuck up and act.
Did you post the Black Lives Matter square on your Instagram?
I did, and I deleted it after, like, 2 days. Because I realised I was only doing it because everyone was doing it.
Yes.
No,
Do you know
here's
what I
the thing. See, if you want, if you do speak up, I don't think. Then that's a thing. If you do speak up, people say this isn't your conversation. You know what I mean? Fuck that. There. If you want to have your opinion on an issue, even if you aren't the victim, then that's sweet.
Someone trying to explain to me why the word spastic shouldn't, like, is offensive to disabled people.
Oh, you're talking about that.
Oh, you missed that, yeah.
I know. I remember. I've
Yeah.
seen the post. And
Someone
stuff like that.
did you see what I replied to them?
No, what did
I
you
went,
say?
I apologise to the disabled community. As a member of the disabled
yes, I
community,
did see
I
that.
forgive me.
Yeah. It's the best way to deal
Because I
with it,
was
really.
like, who the fuck are you to tell me
Yeah.
I can't say, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But do you want to wrap this up there? I think we're about an hour in.
Yeah.
Sorry it's been a bit chaotic this week, folks, but it's better than fucking nothing. Because you's also threatened to murder me when there's nothing. So,
Hey, it's good variety. It's
yes. Thank you very much. And we will see you next week. If we're not on the road, hopefully we'll be in the studio. See you next week, guys.
good. Free corner.
Come on, get closer. Come on,